welcome to the Ghosts of Harrenhal. My name's McKelly.
And my name's Simon.
Welcome to a special edition of our podcast. We are celebrating our 1-year anniversary of doing this show for you all. So that's exciting stuff.
I didn't even know that's why we were doing this. That's exciting. You know what's funny is that you going first there has really thrown me off. I didn't know what to say. I forgot my name. I was like, my name is. That's.
Yeah, I noticed you were a little flat on your announcement. You're like, My name is Simon.
My name is. Surely it should be McKelly, but I don't think I am. So what are we going to do for this episode then, McKelly?
So what we're going to do here is we're going to play our very first take of trying out an episode. It is the prologue. And Simon and I did this. We had no idea what we were doing. We rented a room in the library and just kind of, we had a little bit of a script, a little bit what we were going to talk about, and otherwise we just kind of, well, you'll see. You'll hear what we did.
So, McKelly, what I'm trying to figure out is what is our motivation here? Is it because you want people to realize just how professional we are in comparison to how we were? Is that what you're after here? People may think if they listen to episode 60, they're like, those are a couple of plucky amateurs. But when they listen to this, they'll go, my God, they're so much better than they used to be.
Well, that certainly would be nice. But I just thought, I have known this thing has existed for the past year, and I've always thought it would be kind of funny to bring it out of the shadows and let people hear just how bad our first run was. So
what I'm worried about is that I have not listened to it yet. So I'm worried that I'm going to get bogged down in mortification as I hear this.
Yeah, I have not actually listened to it either. So I'll be interested to see. I didn't want to listen to it because I wanted my reaction to things to be authentic.
Well, yeah.
So
I'm not sure how embarrassment comes across on a podcast.
Right.
Let's give it a try.
So I guess shall we roll into it and just see how it goes?
We'll debase ourselves one more time for the punters.
All right, so let's get on with the show, shall we? It should be a lot of fun, I think.
Mm-hmm.
I'm Simon.
And I'm McKelly.
And this is episode 1 of The North Remembers.
That's not our podcast.
Chapter by chapter podcast of the Song of Ice and Fire books by George R. R.
We wanted, that was our original name, obviously.
A little bit about us.
But we couldn't use it because someone else had it.
We're a couple of regular guys who really enjoy a Song of Ice and Fire.
We were a couple of regular guys. Now we're international megastars.
That's right.
We'll walk through the 5 extant books, one chapter at a time.
I think I might have had a lobotomy right before
discussing what's in there, pointing out interesting things that you might have missed.
Why did I think anybody would find this interesting?
We're determined not to give away future spoilers, so you can listen to an episode immediately after reading the chapter without ruining what's to come.
We assume that most of
you could definitely tell that we're in the library. We sound like a pair of librarians here.
Between the book and the TV series. So on with the show. Today we're discussing the prologue to A Game of Thrones. Okay, let's start with a summary of what happened in the prologue. Over to you, McKelly.
All right, so we open with Jared, Sir Waymar Royce, and Will debating whether they should.
It's funny though because it has some of the elements still,
Past 8 or 9 days. It seems that Will has already told them he found the wildlings dead in their camp, just lifeless bodies, no signs of struggle.
Oh, that's right. You used to do the whole summary, didn't you?
Froze to death,
yeah,
and is ready to return to Castle Black.
And now we share it.
Sir Waymar is
Our
not
summaries
convinced.
have gotten so much longer since then.
At Royce's command, Will leads them to the wildling camp. Garrett stays with the horses, while Royce and Will continue on to the campsite. When Will and Royce...
This is disturbingly not that bad,
they
McKelly.
discover that it's empty.
Oh, so dull, though.
After mocking Will for
gracious.
Royce sends Will
Have you listened to recent episodes?
to look for fire from the wildlings' new campsite. While Will is in the tree, the others arrive and surround Royce. After a battle with one of the others, Royce is killed.
That's funny you said the others there. It sounded like just some other people.
He bends to pick up
Royce's the other guys.
Back to Castle Black for further examination by Lord Commander Mormont and or Master Aemon.
Master Aemon.
When he stands, Royce's apparently reanimated
Master
corpse
Maester
strangles him.
Sansa Cersei.
All right, so what did you think of the prologue?
I thought it was great. I mean, it's only 7.
I thought it was great. Wow, that's really.
I thought it was
great. Really pushing the envelope there.
Sure we will get to over the course of this podcast.
Yeah, what I liked about it, I think, is that some of the themes that are going to sort of recur through the book, and again, I'm going to try to avoid spoilers, but some of the themes get their first airing. Things like the ancient fairy tales, which clearly Will and Garrett believe in, may have a basis in truth.
Now, one thing you should know is that Simon did this entire episode with a piece of paper in front of his face.
Waymar and
do you remember that?
Is also
to act as the pop filter.
Less experienced.
Yeah, it was acting as a pop mic, a pop filter. I mean,
recur during the book. Yeah, I thought it was a real strong start too. I mean, I immediately felt engaged and was excited to get reading the book again. I mean, obviously I've read it before, but rereading the prologue, I remember thinking how much it engaged me from the get-go and dragged me in. And I wanted to keep reading.
Right. Yeah. One of the things that struck me was just the vast size and scale of the North.
We did all this without any edits too, right? This is just a one-take thing.
The wall is...
Yeah, we kept pausing it between segments, remember?
8 or 9
Oh, did we?
Yeah, okay. And we kept having really great discussions with the thing paused, and we were like, why aren't we recording this?
It's that big, but they say they're going northwest.
All the laughter and fun that we had was in between takes.
Frostfangs and the shadow.
Yeah, we sound terribly serious.
Or maybe not. Maybe that's the scale that we're talking about. It's 8 or 9 days north, and you're still only in the haunted forest.
Oh yeah, right. They do mention that they're in the haunted forest.
Yeah. But I think the people of the south call everything north of the wall the haunted forest.
Good take. Solid take.
I think you also get to see some of what Martin's literary ideas are like, the slightly formalized English and the sort of stylized nature of the
Some of the stuff did make it into the actual prologue. A lot of the actual points that we're discussing.
Spelling of a
right. Well, I mean, we're lazy. Yeah. We wouldn't write a script twice.
Right.
He also introduced
if we could avoid
a couple of important groups. The Night's Watch itself, who man and guard the wall from threats in the north. Wildlings, lawless bandits.
Yeah, I'm troubled that this isn't as bad as I hoped it would be, McKelly. I thought we could laugh at how stupid we sounded.
Yeah,
this is how we still sound.
We're a little more polished than I had given us credit for, I guess.
Or we haven't polished ourselves anymore.
Right.
In all that time, I mean, presumably this is
the curve is pretty flat, I guess.
In all that time, he's only ever.
But man, are we dry? Oof.
Right. Humans that live on the wall.
Yeah.
And yet
now we know to laugh. Now we record the chuckles.
The fairy tales he remembers from his youth, as if just his experience has never shaken those fairy tales from him. He's always more afraid of those than he is of the people who are trying to kill him.
Right. Yeah. It's like he's like if you were going downstairs, you heard a noise, and you're afraid that you're going to see a ghost instead of a robber.
Yeah, wow.
And it turned out to be an iPad.
Sense,
Deep analogy right there from me.
Every week.
Right.
Hey, there was a laugh. It was a joke.
But at this time, it's going to be a ghost.
That's what your 40 years of experience has led you to believe.
But I guess that also goes to the fact that his 40 years has given him instincts about what's going on, and there's something weird.
I thought you were claiming that I was 40 years old then. I was like, wait a minute. How long ago was this?
Where are you going with that?
Right. That's one of the things that stuck out to me at the prologue did a really good job of generating
spit it out, man.
Dread. Many times Martin gives you, something's not right. Like, you could taste it, a nervous tension that came perilous close to fear. And until Will's talking or thinking, I guess, and the haunted forest had no more terrors for him until tonight. Something was different tonight. There was an edge to the darkness that made his hackles rise.
You used to read more.
I got the sense that
I guess so.
These experienced rangers not so
I
much.
remember this now. You
Sir
used
Waymar,
to
who
like to do sort of little
clearly,
quotes from the book.
I
was
still
too
do like to
naive
read
even
descriptions of the
realize
veil.
that anything was amiss. You know, they
I think I've read
Remember
every
the-
description of the
Right.
veil
Yeah.
that
there
there
is
is.
nothing tangible.
It's been 20
to
chapters
wrap
since
their
we've been in the Vale, and he's still
arms
reading
around
that.
was
I
gonna
know,
make the
that's
same
that's
point.
where all the
Mr.
reading
Waymar
went.
is so
When they left the
green,
veil,
so
I
much of a
stopped
rookie.
reading
He
to
doesn't
everybody.
He doesn't know that it's different. To him, it's just like, here I am north of the wall. It's cold and scary, and these two are acting like idiots.
Sir
Right.
Waymar.
Those who've been there before.
Poor old Sir
know
Waymar.
something's going on.
Mind you,
Well, that
courtesy of
that
us, I mean, he
is one of the
really
first
is
things you learn
immortal.
in
We
the
talk about him
prologue
all the
is
time.
We do, yeah.
disparity
That's right. He
between
lives
the
on
three
in our
and
memories. You
time
know?
on the
He does.
Night's Watch. Garrett's 40 years at the wall. Will 4 years, and Royce has been there less than 6 months. So there's a huge gap. But yet, this
You know, thinking
boy,
back to Sir
well,
Waymar,
he's 18.
the-
Noble.
Yes,
the comments
is
we've
leading
made
the
about the
ranging,
rest of the
and,
Lords of the Veil,
I
rest
did
of
some
the Lords
sort
and
of
the Knights of
looking
the Veil,
into why that might
he
have
does
been,
start to fit in. There, you start to see a
one of the
trend
things
there.
I came across was that Royce was given
Actually, one of the better ones. They shouldn't have shipped him off.
Yeah.
It was his due since he was a knight, and Lord Commander Mormont agreed and allowed it because he didn't want to offend Waymar's father, Rowan.
That's an interesting point you're making there, because, of course, now I don't think of Mormont like that as someone who would kowtow to a lord.
Exactly.
Once you're a member of the Night's Watch, you remember the Night's Watch, you get what you get, you know?
Yeah.
He doesn't seem to treat John any better than he treats anyone else.
Yeah, exactly.
More of a meritocracy than this.
Right.
I always felt that was a little bit
an 18-year-old is given
didn't really fit with his character.
Right. An 18-year-old who's been there 6 months.
Yeah.
Oh, I think I
One
just
thing
said the
couldn't
same
figure out
point.
is Will was older, or
We really haven't moved on at all, Miguel.
I guess
he's
not.
been there 4 years, but that doesn't necessarily mean he's older. He could have joined the Watch when he was 14.
Because Garrett, if you do the math, joined when he was 10. So one thing that I thought was interesting was the introduction of the others. I
got to talk about those.
Yeah, there's a couple of differences that I noticed from the TV show. The TV show, the others were basically silent. They never said anything. But in the book,
and we're just discussing the TV show as we go rather than its own section.
Oh right,
and I think that's
I guess so.
And I think that's an interesting decision because
I think I dropped some news. I dropped some knowledge that I may have made up right here, if I remember correctly.
Oh yeah,
they had that.
Right. Yeah. That's true. You know, I may be making this up, but I think I read somewhere that they originally did try and give the others the ability to speak in the TV show, and it just didn't.
You know what?
So
I've believed this ever since you told me this.
Not 100% positive on that.
True or not? That podcast
I fully spread this lie.
So,
you know, you'd think in the past year I would have looked it up to see if I was right about that or not.
but we really are listening to this for the first time. We haven't had a chance to do our, after the fact homework.
Right. This didn't make the air. I don't think that bit made the actual podcast that or prologue that we used. So I didn't feel the need to look it up.
Right, yeah, there is some something other than reanimated humans. Yeah.
The other thing is, I think
was with that
you were talking
sigh?
about this before that
I don't know. That might have sounded like it was one of us two listening to it now. Because that's one thing I'm thinking is that they won't know which bit is us talking now and which bit is us talking then.
Because
our voices haven't
you don't
broken.
Have to get back to it right away. You don't
the
have to
voices
start
that sound
back
like
in
that.
with,
That
others
SNL
and,
skit with sweaty balls. That's the
and magic and
that's
stuff,
the original
because
podcast
prologue
prologue one.
lets you know, hey, these things exist in this world. So you may or may not come across them.
Yeah.
So it gives you time to reintroduce them later if you want.
Yeah.
Oof.
I just touched on it, but I wanted to talk a little bit about the comparison with the TV show.
Right. Yeah.
Oh no, here I go.
These two scenes are very, very similar. The major difference seemed to be the sense of distance from the wall. In the TV show, you actually see this trio leaving the wall, and then fairly soon they have this encounter.
Right.
Whereas in the book,
I've become captivated. I'm listening to what we're saying here now.
I
I'm supposed to be making jokes, but I'm like, ooh.
The TV show just wanted to use the wall. The book has the maps, so you know the existence of the wall already.
Yeah.
So maybe that's all it was.
Right. That's another thing that is different is that in the TV show, 2 of the 3 died, just like in the book, but it's not the same.
Oh, and you're contributing to the TV show.
In the book.
Yeah.
Pretending like you have an HBO account, pretending like you're not. Poverty-stricken.
Poor Sir Waymar.
Just stealing your
homeless
homework.
guy.
No matter what.
Every form.
Right. But it is Will and Sir Waymar.
Generally, that's really similar between the two.
Yeah, it's basically.
We didn't really do this as a separate segment. It was more like, hey, let's talk about the TV show here.
You know, I have trouble with separating mediums sometimes.
You're complete.
Yes,
I still do. Year later,
so we thought it would be useful, especially for.
It's getting worse for me
to provide
because I read the chapters and watch that section of the show. I'm getting more and more confused.
Characters and places.
That definitely is an issue you have to deal with.
We thought that the 3 of the families that are mentioned, the Royce, Mallister, and Mormont family.
The Mallisters are mentioned?
Could use a little.
Why are the Mallisters mentioned in the prologue?
So
I was thinking the same thing. I don't know.
Can't remember. Maybe we should have been paying attention.
Royce's words are, we remember, and their sigil is something like a...
There's a Mallister in the Night's Watch, right? That must be it.
We'll be right back.
Hello, friends. Are you ready to make some unforgettable memories? Well, if so, consider the Marriott Bonvoy program. Discover the perfect destination for your summer getaway and unlock exclusive deals on luxurious accommodations. With our affiliate partnership, you'll enjoy unbeatable savings and a seamless booking experience. Don't let summer slip away. Visit Marriott Bonvoy today and make this vacation season one for the books. Use our Ghosts of Harrenhal affiliate page to check it all out and buy Bonvoy points or give some as a gift. The link to our page is in the show notes.
It's just a series of black dots.
Yeah.
The Mallisters hail from Seaguard on the northwestern coast.
We're dealing with the Mallisters right now, where we are in the
their sigil
the podcast.
is a eagle on our purple background.
Yeah, they're from the Riverlands, right?
Above the rest, which probably has to annoy some of their neighbors.
I imagine so.
A little bit of leeway.
I think that joke survived to the real first episode.
Off the west coast of far north, barely out of the wall. As part of the North Dale, their ability to have
it's a kind of memorable quality.
Yes.
Over a green background of trees. Their words are, "Here we stand."
Yeah. I did not realize how far north Bear Island was.
Bear Island is way north.
I guess I thought it kind of on the same latitudinal
Like
as
Winterfell.
Winterfell, yeah, but it's way up there.
They breed them hardy, those Mormons.
I'd forgotten that fact.
I had to. That was just a reminder for me as well.
Podcast, I was adamant that we should have a section on.
You were adamant.
Things that we noticed that aren't quite right in the books.
And you know what? I think it was a good decision with Kelly. Looking back on it.
Yes.
Oh yeah, absolutely. We get a lot of folks telling us how much they enjoy Pedantry Corner.
In the prologue.
Yeah, it's not much.
No,
I mean,
not bad.
It was a.
I've never written a long novel, so I can't really point the finger too much.
Well, one thing that stood out a little bit, just I mean,
we both noticed this one.
Yeah, that's true. We did. Is that Royce asks Will if he's had any shifts on the wall, watch shifts in the past week.
This is
but
good.
They're supposed to be 9 days north of the wall.
Yeah,
crazy.
At the very beginning, they
solid
mentioned
pedantry.
That,
we got off to a roaring start with our pedantry.
It's actually one of the best pieces of pedantry we've come up with, I think, because it's so obvious. It's such a clear mistake.
Yeah,
he's a hard worker as well. Yeah,
that's right.
That one stuck out to me too.
Because most of them you can argue the fact,
right? Yeah,
but that one is
a lot of times that's
incontrovertibly wrong.
Right. Yeah.
Now I had one this is debatable pedantry, but Will has been a member of the Night's Watch for 4 years, and in that time
he's done too many rangings. Yes, he has.
Yeah,
it's an enormous number. Now,
that's a lot. He's busy guy,
especially with all those shifts on the wall.
Right. He doesn't sleep or eat.
Yeah, so, those rank up there with Sam outrunning John to
this one is clearly
for killing Alistair Thorne.
Right. Yeah.
So let's say an average of 7 days. That means he's had 700 days north of the wall, which is 2 years. So he spent half of his time in the Night's Watch north of the wall. Now, honestly, I don't know what the Night's Watch do on a day-to-day basis.
Right.
Maybe they're all normal.
I've made that point
Boring
since as well.
Yeah.
There's only so much you can do.
But it just seems a bit excessive. But anyway,
You want to go off the wall? Yeah, sure.
Wrong, but I do understand that it mentioned that he was the best in the Night's Watch of moving silently.
Right. Yeah.
So he would be in high demand for ranging, obviously with that skill. But still, I just thought it was a little bit.
I agree. Still agree. A year later.
Yeah, me too.
The first episode's going to be short because we don't have background context to add, but I think they'll get longer with time.
Not many pages to really discuss yet either.
They did get longer.
Really, it was
now we blather on for ages.
Again,
yeah.
I remember how much fun it was.
Heck, we'd barely be done.
I encourage you all to read it.
BSing. We'd probably be about at the summary at this point.
It sucks you in.
We're still talking about our nautical adventures at this point.
Spending our Saturday afternoon talking about it.
And so I tied a reef knot.
Tied beforehand, coming up with a whole plan.
So we hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll stay with us. Look out for episode 2 coming up soon. If you have any feedback or you want to get in touch with us, please reach out.
Oh yeah, we didn't even know how we were going to post it and things, did we? We were just like recording it and then...
Yeah, we had no idea. We just wanted to record an episode and see how it went. All right.
Well, absolutely fascinating.
Yeah, that wasn't as bad as I was anticipating it to be.
It really wasn't. I really hoped we'd improved more.
Yeah, seriously. All we've done is learn how to blather. We blather on way more relaxed than we used to.
I mean, I feel it already we're more relaxed. But you know what was funny was I think we relaxed as this episode went on. I think we were more stilted in the first 3 minutes of that than we were by the end. We were kind of like we are now.
Oh yeah. The beginning was rough. That was very stale. Very stale intro there.
Yeah.
But it wasn't too bad. I mean, obviously it's not going to win Podcast of the Year, but it wasn't as bad as I was expecting. Huh. And North Remembers, that was our original plan for our name. And then when we...
Ironically, I didn't remember.
I'd forgotten too until we started listening to it. But we discovered that there was a podcast that did 5 episodes and then stopped back in 2016 or something that was called The North Remembers. And so we decided...
They didn't have our staying power.
That's right. Yes. So then we threw a whole bunch of names at the wall, and we ended up with the Ghosts of Harrenhal.
Yeah, which I really like still. I'd forgotten actually how much Harrenhal features. I'd forgotten that the tourney of Harrenhal was so important to the whole story.
Right. Yeah.
I just like the name. I actually like the word Harrenhal.
It is a cool word. It's fun to say.
Yeah. But one thing I regret about it is I think there's an episode of Game of Thrones called The Ghost of Harrenhal.
There is.
And that horribly dilutes our Google presence.
Yes, it does. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a real... If we'd been thinking straighter at the time, we would have chosen something else.
Yeah. That definitely has some issues when it comes to search results.
Yeah. But I'm still fond of it.
Yeah.
You know what? We never thought we were going to make get famous and rich off this. And boy, were we right.
We really nailed that one.
and it's with the kind of sort of cataclysmic improvement we've seen over the last year that we're going to continue to not get rich or famous off this.
The amount of money we lose every month stays pretty much the same. But hey, think of how we spare our listeners from having to sit through ads and all that kind of sponsor stuff. I mean, we do it for you, really.
Yeah. And in related news, if anybody wants to sponsor us, please get in touch. We don't care about these pros. We just need the money.
Oh boy! Well,
that was fun, McKelly. Thank you for suggesting that. I'm glad we did it.
Yeah, and it's been a fun year. It really has. I did believe that we would see it through. I really did. But also would not have been shocked if we didn't. So.
I actually think that coronavirus. I thought coronavirus was going to finish us off. I didn't think we'd survive coronavirus because, of course, we'd recorded every episode face to face until that point.
Yeah.
But now I actually think it's worked in our favor once we got over the sort of technical challenges of it, which we still haven't. I still think audio quality were not as good as we were when we were able to record together.
Yeah. But
I actually think that it's just made it a little bit easier. Like, for instance, when we were trying to do 2 episodes a week to speed things along.
Oh yeah.
I don't think we could have done that face to face. I think it would have broken us.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah, it certainly made it more convenient to find a time to record, so because we don't have to, both get down here in my basement to do our recordings.
Yeah. But anyway, I also forgot it was a year because I was looking for episode 52 to be the year, but of course because of that doubling up period,
that's right.
Episode 61, something like that, is our run a year marker.
Yeah, we've run a bit ahead of schedule. How nice. Of course, we still have 12 more episodes to go, I think. 72 chapters in the first, in the Game of Thrones. So that will put us somewhere beginning at, I don't know, maybe end of December-ish, beginning of 2021. I'm not sure, but we'll get there. We'll get there eventually.
Probably early 2021. Yeah. All right. Well, thanks for listening. You can always reach out to us at You can always reach out to us at ghost.harrenhall. No, it is ghost.harrenhall.
It is.
Man, I need my script. You can reach out to us at ghost.harrenhall@gmail.com or reach us on Twitter at ghostharrenhall. We're on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.
That we are. And please consider going out and rating and reviewing us. We would very much appreciate that. And hey, for those of you who have been around since the beginning, thank you so much.
Thank you.
Pretty amazing. You stuck with us for the entire year. And I know a few folks who have, so really appreciate that.
Well, thanks for listening.
Thanks.
Bye.
Bye.